The bottle moved across the floor, still half filled, but he did not grab for it. He grabbed for her instead. She tried to step back, but the wall was behind her. She had nowhere left to go. His hold came quick, too quick. The dress her father made her wear ripped from the shoulder down, and he smiled like it was something due to him. Her father's betting had finally reached him, and she was the payment. Emily did not yell. She knew no one would hear. Not here, not in the bedroom of the man she was just married to. Some men wear boots and own land and think that makes them greater, but it does not. Not when their heart is bad and their hands are used to causing pain. That night, something was taken from her, and she would carry that load for the rest of her life. But what if that load was growing? How do you care for someone when the worst part of your past lives inside them? It was barely morning when Lucas heard the knock. It did not sound like a knock, truly, more like something falling against the door, soft, hesitant, like the wind, if the wind was afraid to ask for help. Lucas pulled the door open with one hand, the other wrapped around the old shotgun that had not seen use since '76. He was not ready for what he saw. A girl barefoot, hair wild, blood dried to the side of her neck, wrapped in nothing but a dirty bedsheet. Her skin was bruised, scratched, and there was a look in her eyes that did not belong to someone her age. She looked empty, but watching, like an animal that had been chased too long and had stopped running only because it had nowhere left to go. He did not ask questions, just pulled off his coat and handed it to her. She held it for a second before wrapping it around herself. Her hands shook, but her voice did not. "I am not clean," she said. Lucas did not flinch. He did not nod either. He just turned and pointed toward the small room behind the house. She walked like her body was about to fall at any step. He poured her water, heated a kettle without saying a word. Something told him this was not just a lost girl. This was a problem made by a man who had power, the kind of man who thought rules were for other people. Lucas had seen it before. He had fought that kind of man out in the war, out in drinking places, even in his own town. And now, maybe, just maybe, that fight had come to his doorstep again.
As the sun rose over the Arizona dirt, Lucas sat on his porch, boots dusty and arms crossed. The shotgun rested against the wall behind him. He did not know her name. He did not need to, because whoever she was, someone was going to come looking for her. And this time, maybe they'd come to the wrong ranch. She had not been inside 10 minutes before the trouble came. Lucas had just set the kettle over the fire when the dog started barking low. Not in panic, just a warning. He stepped outside. The morning sun was still rising, heat rising off the dirt. And there he was, Ryder coming fast down the trail, dust flying, purpose in every step of the horse. Lucas did not move, just watched. A man pulled up fast, big bill, scar down the cheek, gun on his hip, worn from use. "Saw a girl come through here," he said. "Blonde, barefoot, might be wearing a sheet." Lucas looked at him like he was looking at the sun. "A girl? You lose your mind already today?" The man did not laugh. "She belongs to Mr. Harlan. Ran off this morning. She is his wife now. Papers signed and sealed. I'm just here to bring her home." Lucas did not say a word, not right away. He walked over, filled a bucket from the well, let it splash hard and slow. You see a scared girl in a sheet running through plants and rock. You do not bring her home. You bring her help. That girl's got bruises on bruises, and the man she ran from should be ashamed to call himself anything but a coward. The man's eyes narrowed. You sure you want to be the man standing between Mr. Harlan?
Harlan and his wife? Lucas looked him straight on. I am sure I am not moving. There was a silence then. Not the peaceful kind, the kind that builds just before things break. But the man did not draw. He just smiled. The kind of smile that meant next time he would not be alone. He tipped his hat like it was some kind of joke, then turned the horse around and rode off. Lucas stood there for a long moment. When he stepped back into the small room, the girl had not moved, but her eyes were on him now, not wide with fear, but watching, trying to figure out what kind of man she had just landed with. He set the bread beside her and walked out, and as he reached the porch, he took the old rifle down off the hooks, the one he had not touched in years, because men like Harlan, they do not send just one man. They come back louder, meaner, and next time they did not knock. Lucas did not say much that day. Never did, but he watched. The girl stayed in the small room mostly, did not ask for anything, did not move much either, like if she just stayed still, the world might forget she was there. He left food on the table by the door. Sometimes she touched it, sometimes not, and every now and then she would glance out the window like something out there might pull her back. Around midday, she stepped out into the sun. Lucas was fixing the gate, did not look up right away, but he saw her in the corner of his eye, still wearing his coat, still walking like every step might hurt. She stopped a few feet from him. "Can I help?" He did not answer right away, just handed her a small hammer. "You know how to use one of these?" She shook her head. "Well, you're about to learn." It was not much, a few nails, a gate that still made noise, but it was the first time she had done anything that wasn't running or crying or getting ready for the next hit, and that meant something. Later that afternoon, she sat with him under the porch roof, did not speak, just watched the chickens move and the dust roll. She pointed at the horizon. "You think he'll come back?" Lucas did not look at her when he answered. "I'd bet my last boot on it." She nodded like she already knew, but she was not shaking anymore, and Lucas noticed something else, too. Her hands had stopped trembling. "Now look, if you followed this far and your stomach is turning the way mine did when writing it, do not walk away now. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is the best way to make sure you don't miss what happens when that man comes back, because we both know he will. And when he does, it's not going to be quiet."
They came just before sundown, 3 horses kicking up dust like storm clouds. Lucas saw them from the porch. He did not move, just rested one hand on the old rifle by the door. The air felt tight, like something was about to snap. Emily stood inside, half hidden by the curtain. She knew it was him. Harlan rode front and center, dressed too nice for a man so bad inside. His 2 strong men flanked him, both built like trouble and smelling like sweat and whiskey. Harlan got off his horse slow, took off his gloves like he was someone important. "Heard you been hiding my wife." Lucas did not blink. "Heard you been beating what is not yours to touch." The smile on Harlan's face dropped like a curtain. "That girl belongs to me, papers signed, laws on my side." Lucas stepped down off the porch, calm as morning. Law does not mean anything when a man has no heart. The strong man moved first. They always do. One rushed from the left, fast but not smart. Lucas turned, hit him clean across the jaw with the rifle part. The other pulled his gun, but Lucas was faster. One shot, center of body. Dust, silence. Harlan froze, pale and shaken, still holding those gloves. Lucas walked up close, close enough for his breath to land heavy.
You listen, and listen good. If I see your boots on this dirt again, I will not be trying to scare. I will be digging your grave right where you stand." Harlan did not say a word. He backed toward his horse like a boy caught stealing. When they rode off, with heads down, Emily stepped outside. She did not look afraid anymore. She looked free, and for the first time in a long time, Lucas felt like something had been made right.
A month passed, quiet. No more riders, no more shadows on the trail, just long days fixing fences and quiet dinners on the porch. Emily smiled more, not often, but real. Then one morning she did not come out for breakfast. Lucas knocked. No answer. When he opened the door, she was sitting on the edge of the cot, hands pressed to her stomach. She did not cry, she did not speak, but he knew there was only one truth a look like that could carry. He sat beside her, did not say much, just watched the dust hang in the air. Finally, she asked, "What do I do?" Lucas rubbed his hands together, looked out the window. "You let it live." She turned toward him, surprised. Even if it is his, even then? She stared, waiting for anger or pity or something to push her away, but it did not come. Instead, Lucas stood up slow. "You are not broken. You are just beginning again. And that baby does not carry his wrong, only yours, only what you give it." She broke then, not loud, just let her shoulders fall and her face lean into his chest, and he held her like something worth keeping. From that day on, there was no more hiding, no more silence. Lucas went into town with her, sat beside her in church, bought baby blankets from the same store Harlan once walked into proudly. Folks whispered, but folks always whisper, and Lucas did not care. Because in a world where men throw people away like scraps, he chose to hold on, even when it hurt, especially then.
So, let me ask you something. Could you do the same? Could you care for what others call a shame? Could you raise the child of the man who hurt her? Because sometimes being a man is not about what you fight, it is about what you choose to keep. And if this story reached something inside you, do not leave it quiet. Hit that like button, tap subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to be reminded that the strongest men are the ones who protect what has been forgotten.